Okay, are you back? Hey Rudra, Manishri, and Niva. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what have you done? How have you finished the entire Act 1 in Merchant of Venice?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you done Act 2, Scene 1?
No, ma'am.
Okay, no. In that case, we'll do Act 2, Scene 1. We'll start with Merchant of Venice. Okay? I hope you all have the book with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in Act 1, you got to know that how many characters did you get to know in Act 1? 1 minute, let me just erase this. Okay, tell me how many characters did you get to know in Act 1? First one is?
Antonio.
I'm almost 10.
Yes, ma'am. Almost 10.
I need to know the names.
Antonio.
Antonio,
Bassanio.
Bassanio.
Graciano.
Antonio's very good friend. Okay. Who was Antonio?
Antonio was a wealthy merchant who thinks he
Merchant
has
of
to play a solemn role in the stage of life.
Yes. So he was a wealthy merchant, a very serious, solemn person. Okay. But very, very helpful when it comes to Bassanio. A true friend of Bassanio. What kind of a person Bassanio was? A very good friend of Antonio, but he was, let's say, a spin. He has taken a lot of money. He has borrowed money, and then he has spent it without thinking, you can say. But he's not a bad person. He's a very kind-hearted and a person who's loved by all. Antonio, Bassanio, they have their set of friends. Bassanio is in love with
Portia.
Portia. Who's Portia? Who's Portia? Portia was again a daughter of a wealthy man, wealthy merchant, and she has inherited a huge amount of money. Okay, and now she is all set, all ready to marry, but she has this problem. She cannot choose her own husband. Why can't she choose her own husband?
Because of her dead father's will.
Okay, her dead father had a will, and he has, set a lottery. What is that lottery?
Ma'am, that he has kept 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead.
Yes.
And then whoever will choose that will, like, Portia will have, like, they will choose Portia.
Right. So this man, his father, before dying, had left 3 chests: one of gold, one of silver, the other one of lead, third one of lead. One out of these chests is the correct chest. Now, which one is the correct chest? No one knows. Whoever chooses the correct chest chooses Portia. If the chest choose and therefore Portia doesn't have a right to choose her own husband. It's all left for the lottery. Okay. Bassanio is in love with. He thinks that she likes Bassanio, thinks he likes Portia, and Portia also likes him, and he decides to go and woo her and impress her. And to impress this rich woman, he needs money. Because many people from all over the world are coming to impress her, to win her hand in marriage. He too wants to do that. But for that, he needs money. So right now he doesn't have money because he has lost all his money. We don't know where and how, maybe some bad investments, or he has squandered his money, spent it in his, in his lavish lifestyle. He doesn't have money, so who does he go to?
Antonio.
Antonio. Antonio too has his wealth invested in different ships and his money is invested in business. He doesn't have any ready cash. He asks him to go and ask for money from anyone who's ready to lend him. Who's ready to lend him? Who does he go to?
Shylock.
Shylock. Very good. Who's Shylock?
He's a money lender.
He's a Jew money lender. He's a Jew money lender. So you know the story still here. Okay. And in Act 1, Scene 2, you also have read that so many men from, rich men from all over the world, from all over Europe had come to win Portia's hand. Now we come to Act 2, Scene 1. Act 2, Scene 1 is again the scene takes place in Belmont, in Portia's room. And even here, she is talking to a new suitor. Now, who's this new suitor? Remember, at the end of this Act 1, Scene 2, they had told us this new suitor was on his way. And this new suitor is the Prince of Morocco. Any idea where is Morocco? Do you know where is Morocco?
In Rome?
Sorry?
Don't really know.
Any idea where is Morocco? You said something, Nivan? Okay, Morocco is in North Africa. Okay, let's say the end of Europe, Africa begins. So it's on the cusp of Asia and Africa. So it's in the north of Africa. Northern part of Africa is Morocco. So northern part of Africa on the towards Asia, and the complexion is dark. Not as as you can say dark as the African people, but yes, darker than us. So he has dark complexion, but he is a very, very wealthy and brave prince. Now we'll read. I hope you all have the book with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are reading Act 2, Scene 1. It is the first scene where lottery of casket is talked about in detail. A Moroccan prince, one of Portia's suitors, comes to Belmont. He is vainly proud of himself, believing that he is extremely attractive to women. If he chooses the correct casket, Portia will have to marry him. Hence, the idea of marriage across racial, religious, and social barriers is introduced. See, Morocco, that means it's the Morocco Islamic world. The religion is Islam. Here, the religion practiced by Portia and others is Christianity. Plus, Moroccan prince means a dark person. So you can understand that Shakespeare, when he wrote this, he was quite ahead of his time. He was quite open to introduce such interracial, interreligious, relationship in 1500 was quite something. Scene 1, Belmont, a room in Portia's house. Flourish of cornets. Flourish of cornets means? Flourish of cornets means, you know, when the prince enters, they give that, you know, they blow that horns, that is known as cornet. And flourish of cornets means they're blowing that to, you know, mark that the prince and the king is walking in now. Enter the Prince of Morocco and his train. His train means his assistants, his servants, whoever follow him wherever he goes. Portia, Nerissa, and other of her attendants. Morocco. Mislike me not for my complexion. So what does he say? Do not dislike me for my complexion. The shadowed livery of the burnished sun, to whom I am a neighbor and near bred. So he says that, see, I've lived in sun, I've lived in a land where the sun is like hot, everything is hot. The sun is there burning all 12 months. Bring me the fairest, the shadowy livery of the burnished sun, to whom I am a neighbor and near bred. That means I'm closely related to the people, my neighbors are the ones. That means I basically live near equator, in the area where you have burning sun all 12 months. Bring me the fairest creature northward born, where Phoebus' fire scars thaws the icicles. And let us make incision for your love, to prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine. I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine hath feared the valiant. By my love, I swear the best regarded virgins of our clime have loved it too. I would not change this hue, except to steal your thoughts, my gentle queen. That means he says, I have lived in an area where there is the sun is hot, sun is burning all 12 months. Bring me the fairest creature, bring me this man with fair complexion who's born in the northern side, you know, northern continent, northern, extreme north, where Phoebus' fire, the Phoebus is the sun, where the sun's fire is so big that they rarely thaw the icicles. The icicles, the ice-clad, the snow-clad mountains. That means, bring me the man who has lived in those cold regions where there is snow all throughout, where the sun is so mild that it rarely thaws the snow or the ice. And let us make incision. Let us cut ourselves to see whose blood is reddest, whose blood is more red, his or mine. And what does he say? It will definitely be his, because he says that he's very proud of his hue. He says he's very proud of his, I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine hath feared the valiant. He says he's so brave. He's so brave that the other brave people, so many brave people are frightened, are scared of him. And I swear the best regarded virgins of our clime says that these best, most beautiful young girls of my region, of my area, love my complexion. They admire my complexion. I would not change this hue, color. He says he would not change this hue. Though he's dark, he's very proud because he's very brave. Other brave people are afraid of him. The young girls of his land find him very, very attractive. He's only ready to change this complexion to steal Portia's thoughts. That is only to, if you want, if only for Portia, he's ready to give up that complexion. How he's going to do it, we don't know. But that's what he says. What is Portia's reply for that? Who'll like to read? Nival? Is anyone there? Or am I talking alone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Manashri. Read the next part. What does Portia says to that?
Okay, ma'am. In terms of, ma'am, the whole para, right?
Yes.
In terms of choice, I'm not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit to yield myself, his wife who wins me by that means I told you, yourself, renowned prince, then stood as fair as a comma I have looked on yet for my affection.
Okay. So she says, in terms of choice, I'm not solely, she says, I have no choice. I cannot make my own choice. And I cannot make a choice by who looks beautiful, who looks good. I have never made choice. So she says that I am not inspired by attractive looks. I would have never chosen anyone because the person looks attractive or is very pleasing to a woman's eye. She says, besides, the qualities matter. That's what she says. So she says, besides, the lottery of my destiny, this lottery that my father has devised, that bars me, that restricts me from voluntarily, that is to choose a husband on my own, to voluntarily choose my own husband. So she says, had my father not scanted means restricted. Had my father not restricted me and had me given me the liberty to choose my husband, then she says that you renowned king, renowned prince, you stood a fair chance. So she says that she doesn't care whether he has dark complexion, she doesn't care whether he is very attractive, but that is also not the criteria for not choosing him. She says it doesn't bother her that he has dark complexion. So he says, you are a renowned prince, you are brave, and had my father not restricted me by this lottery, if I had, if I could choose my own husband, then you, prince, were, uh, you could have been one of the best suitors that I would have chosen. Okay, you would have had you would have had equal affection as any other person. What does Prince of Morocco says to that? Nevan, are you there? Hello. Fine.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Actually, I was having problems. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We are on line number 23.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Prince of Morocco says, read the first para.
Yes. Morocco. Even for that, I thank you. Therefore, I pray you lead me to the casket to try my fortune. By the scimitar
Yes.
that slew the Sophie of and the Persian prince that won 3 fields of Sultan Suleiman, I would outstare the sternest eyes that look, outbrave the heart most daring on the earth, pluck the young sucking cubs from the she bear, yeah, mock the lion when he roars for prey, to win the lady, but alas, the while
Okay,
if
fine.
her
Stop. Let's understand what it means. He says, So he says, thank you that you says that you for you this complexion and all this does not matter. So he says, I pray you. That means I request you, take me, lead me to the caskets. Let me try my fortune. So he says, by this scimitar that slew. So he's like, he's eager to go and try his luck. He says, scimitar is this short curved sword. Okay. So he says, this sword of mine, it has, uh, it has slew the Sophie, the Persian prince. That means it has defeated the emperor of Persia. Sophie means the emperor of Persia. So he says it has defeated, it has beat the emperor of Persia and the Persian prince in war. It has defeated that Persian prince. I have won 3 wars against the Sultan Suleiman. Sultan Suleiman, he was a Turkish king. See, Persia, Turkey, these were the mighty empires during that time. So he's telling that he, the Prince of Morocco, he has managed to defeat these mighty emperors. So the King of Persia and the Prince of Persia are defeated by him. He has thrice managed to defeat Sultan Suleiman of Turkey. And I will so he says, I'm so brave that I will outstare the sternest eyes that look. So he says, I'm not scared. I can look any person who thinks is very scary, a stern look. I can look at any scary person and give him a look back, and I can outbrave any brave man. I can outsmart any brave man on this earth. He says, I can take the young suckling cubs away from she bear. You know, a she bear or a lioness, they're most protective and most aggressive when their young puppies are with them. When their puppies are young, when they have young babies. So they become very, very aggressive to protect them. So he says, I'm so brave, I can take away the suckling puppies from the she bear. I'm not scared, even if, however ferocious she is. He says, I'm sorry. He said, I can mock the lion when he roars for prey. He says, I can make fool, I can make fun, I can mock the lion when he's hunting, when he's in the middle of a hunt. See, lions hunt only when they are hungry. And you don't mess with them when they are hungry. So when he's chasing a prey, that means he wants that prey, because otherwise the deer can just walk next to the lion and the lion would completely ignore it. But he would hunt only when he is hungry, and nobody messes with the lion when he is hungry. So he says, but he doesn't care. He's so brave that he can mock the lion when he's in the middle of his hunt. To win thee, so he says, I can do any of this just to win your heart, to win the lady. I can go and take, that means I can do any daring act for you, my dear lady. But alas, but I'm so sad. If Hercules and leeches, Hercules, any idea who Hercules was? Hercules was this a Greek mythological, you can say, all-powerful man. He was like a superman, okay? He was all-powerful. Nobody could ever defeat Hercules. So he says, he gives different examples. He says, if Hercules and leeches play at dice, if you make Hercules and leeches is his, you can say, is his servant. If you ask them both to play dice, which is the better man, the greater throw? He says, who will win? Who will be the greater man? Whoever puts a good throw, whoever's dice comes up with bigger number, may turn by fortune. It is all completely by luck, right? When you play dice, when you play, the snakes and ladder, it's not your skill, your power. You may be an all-powerful person, but you might lose snakes and ladder because however the way you throw the dice, it completely depends on luck. If Hercules and leeches play at dice, which is the better man, the greater throw, may turn by fortune for the weaker hand. So if Alcides beaten by his page. Alcides is again Hercules. It's another name for Hercules. So he says, see, Hercules may be all powerful, but if he's asked to play dice, then his weaker leeches, that his weaker servant, page is servant, can beat him because it is all matter of luck. There is no skill, there is no strength involved. And so may I, blind fortune leading me, miss that which one unworthier may attain and die with grieving. So he says, so whatever you're asking me to do is completely depends on my fortune. I'm so brave, I'm so strong, but this lottery completely depends on the fortune. If I'm lucky, I will win. Otherwise, I'll be grieving. She says that I'll be very, very unhappy. I'll die of grief if I don't choose the correct casket. What is Portia's answer for that? Um, Manushri?
Yes, ma'am. Portia, you must take your chance and either not attempt to choose at all or swear before you choose. If you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterward in way of marriage, therefore to be advised.
Okay. So she says that, see, if you think you'll be very sad and this is a matter of fortune, you must take your chance. Take your chance. Either attempt to choose or swear. Excuse me. Hello. I think, yeah. Yes, yes. You're not taking it. I should pick it up. But okay. 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 So, um, so Portia says, look, you can swear before you choose that if you choose wrong, you will never speak to a lady again, or you will never ask anyone, any lady to marry you again. You never ask for any lady's hand in marriage again. And therefore, she says, I'm warning you. Decide, do you want to choose? Do you want to take the risk? But if you do that, and if you choose wrong, see, if you choose right, you get me. But if you choose wrong, then you cannot, you lose me. At the same time, you cannot ask any other woman in marriage again. So what does Morocco says? Nor will not come, bring me unto my chance. He says, fine, I will not ask anyone else in marriage again. Even if I lose, let me go ahead and take my chances. Portia, first forward to the temple. After dinner, your hazard shall be made. She says, don't be in a hurry. Let's first go to the temple place where you can rest, uh, and sit peacefully. And your hazard, then you can take, after being going to the temple, you can take your hazard. Hazard can be gamble, you get chances here now. Morocco. Good fortune then to make me blessed or cursed among men. So he says, fine, let us see whether I am the blessed one or the cursed one among men. Do I win or do I lose? Okay. So that's a very, very short act one. Scene 2, act 1 is very, very short. I'll give you 2-3 questions based on this. Your paragraph would be try line 25 to line 30. To try my fortune by this scimitar, that's Lou the Sophie and the Persian prince from 25 to 30. And the questions are, do these 4 questions. First one, how do we know that the Prince of Morocco was a brave warrior? Let's discuss first and then you write. Okay. How do we know that the Prince of Morocco was a brave warrior?
And because he had defeated all the mighty emperors, like the Emperor of Persia and Sultan of Turkey, and he also said that he could mock the tiger when he is searching for his prey.
Okay, in order to impress, Portia, he was also ready to, mock the tiger or take the cubs away from the suckling cubs away from the she bear. Very good. That's right. So write the answer. The second, should we discuss all the answers first? Then you'll write on your own.
Okay.
Nivan? Nivan, are you there? Okay, write the first answer, then I'll discuss the second one. Once you finish writing, Manushree, tell me.
Yes, ma'am, completed.
Completed? Okay. Who was Alcides? Who was Alcides? Manushree, who was Alcides?
And he
Alcides,
was Hercules.
yes, another name of Hercules. How can he get beaten by his page? What will you say? How can he get beaten by his page? He can get beaten by his page because while playing dice, playing dice does not require strength or any skill. It's one only requires luck. So it's a game of fortune. And therefore, though Alcides is a strong man, he can get beaten by his page by sheer luck. Okay? So here you will say that one does not require skill, strength for playing dice. It's a matter of luck completely. And therefore, while playing dice, Alcides can easily be beaten by his page. Got it, Manushree?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll just write the points here. You can say Therefore, Alcides, though very powerful, can get beaten by his weight. Third one. What does Portia warn the prince before taking the lottery?
Ma'am, she tells that if you want, you can attempt it or not, because if he chooses the wrong one, he will never be able to speak or marry a lady.
A lady again. That's right. So she says, she warns that if he loses, he not only loses Portia, but he will not be allowed to speak or marry any lady ever again. Good job. Give the meaning of scimitar. What is the meaning of scimitar?
It means a short curved sword.
Short sword. That's right. Curved short, curved sword. And Sophie?
Ma'am, he is the emperor of Persia.
That's right. Emperor of Persia. Write these answers, and once you're done, you tell me.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay. Now, see, we have 15 more minutes for this period to get over. So what we'll do is, rather than doing something else, let's go to the part 2, Act 2, part 2. Act 2, scene 2. Because Act 2, scene 2 is very big. Okay. There are 3 parts in Act 2, scene 2. So let's do the first 2 pages of Act 2, scene 2 today. And then we'll continue in the next class. Okay. Because we can never finish the whole thing in one period. Like if I next class, whenever we have the next class, hopefully you come to the class so that I can teach, notice and email. And then if we have time, we will continue with our Act 2 scene 2. Okay. So what happens in Act 2 scene 2? Act 2 scene 1 was all about Prince of Morocco. Now, Act 2, scene 2, we go back to Venice. And in this scene 1, first part of the scene 2, we are actually talking about Lancelot. Now, who's this Lancelot? Who's this Lancelot, or whatever, however you pronounce? Who's this Lancelot? Any idea who's this Lancelot, Manushri?
Shylock's servant.
That's right. He is Shylock's servant. Have they finished this part in your school?
No, ma'am, but I just have a brief thing in my mind.
Okay, great. So let's see what happens here. Okay. The scene has, let's read this, whatever is written in the green part. Act 2, scene 2. The scene has 3 sections. In the first, Lancelot, Gobbo, teases his father by pretending to be dead. Lancelot thinks of leaving Shylock's service, showing his racial prejudice and having false expectations about Bassanio's wealth. His disloyalty and attitude to his father can be compared to that of Jessica to Shylock. In the second section, Lancelot meets Bassanio and joins his service. Bassanio prepares for his trip to Belmont. In the third section, Gratiano requests Bassanio to allow him to go with him to Belmont. This scene deals with the same important issues such as conscience, loyalty of a servant to his master, false expectations, prejudice, relationship of children to parents, etc. Okay. We are back. This scene has taken place again. This scene takes place in Venice, the street outside Shylock's house. Now, Lancelot is unhappy with Shylock. According to him, Shylock is a mean master. He does not give him enough to eat, and he constantly calls him as his Jewish master. So he's unhappy. See, we can see as it is said that racial discrimination, religious discrimination here. There has always been this a fight between the Christians and the Jews. So that is very well displayed here. Now, first is Lancelot is talking to himself. It's a monologue. Any idea what's the meaning of monologue? Manushri, any idea what's a monologue? Any idea what's dialogue?
Ma'am likes 2 people talking.
Yes. When 2 people talk, it's a dialogue. Okay. And when only one person talks, it's a monologue. Okay. So first part is a monologue. Lancelot is just talking to himself. What is he saying? Certainly, my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master. The fine is at mine. The fine is at mine elbow and tempts me, saying to me, Gobbo, Lancelot, Gobbo, good Lancelot, or good Gobbo, or good Lancelot, Gobbo, use your legs, take the start, run away. So what he's saying? My conscience? He says, my conscience is telling me to run from this Jewish master, from this Jew who's my master. The find, F-I-E-N-D, find, it means the devil. The devil is at my elbow. That means he's constantly poking me. This devil is constantly telling me, run, Lancelot, run. Run, use your legs, take a start and run away from your master. My conscience, what is my conscience? That means my, conscience is your ability to think what is right and what is wrong. So there is one devil in his head who keeps telling him to run away. And then there is this conscience. My conscience says, no, take heed. Honest Lancelot, or as aforesaid, honest Lancelot Gogo, do not run. Scorn running with thy heels. So his conscience tells him, do not run. He's your master. He has, looked after you. He has given you a job. Be with him. But there is this another side, the devil in his mind. It keeps poking him to run away from the master. Then the most courageous find bids me back. Via, says the find, away. Says the find, for the heavens rouse up a brave mind. Says the find and run. So here find means again the devil. So here he says that the devil in his head keeps telling him, rise up, be strong, run away, you will not get a chance. But well, my conscience hanging about the neck of my heart says very wisely to me, my honest friend Lancelot, being an honest man's son, or rather an honest woman's son, well, my conscience says, Lancelot, budge not, budge, says the find. Budge not, says the conscience. Conscience, say I, you counsel well. Find, say I, you counsel well. To be ruled by my conscience, I should stay with the Jew, my master, who, God bless the mark, is a kind of devil, and to run away from the Jew, I should be ruled by the find, who is saving your reverence is the devil himself. Certainly, the Jew is the very devil incarnation, and my conscience is but a kind of hard conscience to offer a counsel, to counsel me to stay with the Jew. You understand what is happening here? There are these two things in his head. One is the right mind, one is the wrong mind. Wrong mind is that devil. The right mind is his conscience. And so he's thinking, what should I do? Should I should I run away? Then he starts thinking, no, I should not run away. Who will give me a job? I don't have a job, I don't have a house. How will I fend for myself? So the first, you can say, 20 lines are his argument in his head. He's arguing in his own head. His one mind, that is devil. He's telling him, get up, run, be brave, move away from this evil master. And then there is this other mind, conscience. It is telling him, don't run, be honest. This man has given you a job. Be with him. You have no other job. How will you live? How will you eat? He at least gives you, he has given you roof under your head. He has given you food. So he's in a dilemma. He's in this, so his brain is in war with himself. He's in war with himself. He says, certainly the Jew is the devil incarnation. That is, he is a devil in human form. And he says, so it is little difficult for him to decide whether to leave or to stay, whether to be honest or to be dishonest and run away. Friend gives me the more friend, the friend gives me the more friendly counsel, and I will run. Find my heels are at your command, at your commandment, I will run. Finally, he makes a decision that, okay, I'm going to listen to that other mind. I'm not going to listen to my conscience, which is pulling me back, which is asking me to be loyal. I'm going to listen to this devil in my head who's asking me to run. I'm going to run. Go away from my master. In the meantime, Bobo enters. Manushri, will you read what Bobo says?
Yes, ma'am. Master, young man, you, I pray you, which is the way to master Jews?
Okay. So he calls Lancelot, who's actually a servant, a master. So says, Master, young man, which way? How do I go to Master Jews? This Jew person who's a big, rich man, I wish to go to his house. What does Lancelot say to that? Manushri, read.
Yes, ma'am. Aside, O heavens, this is my true begotten Father, who, being more than sand blind, high gravel blind, knows me not. I will try confusions with him.
Okay. So he says that I will try confusion with him. Why does he say I will try confusion with him? He suddenly realizes that the man who's asking him a way to the Jew's house is actually his father. But he has not recognized him. Why has he not recognized him? Any idea, Manushri? Because he says,
His conscious mind and the devil is.
no, why has Gobo, that his own father, has not recognized, like why Gobo is actually Lancelot's father, but he did not recognize him because he says, being more than sand blind, high gravel blind. That means he's completely blind. Earlier he was little blind. Now he is completely blind. And therefore, he could not recognize Lancelot. Okay? His father is blind, has turned blind, and therefore, he cannot recognize Lancelot. So Lancelot says, oh, this is my father, and he has not recognized me. Let me confuse him more. Is that mean? Do you think, Manushri, that's little mean to have fun at the cost of
Ma'am, mean but can be playful as well.
mean but even funny at the same time? Okay. Okay. So Gogo asks, Master, young gentleman, I pray you, which is the way to Master Jews? He asks again. And to which Lancelot says, turn up on your right hand at the next turning, but at the next turning of all on your left, marry, at the very next turning, turn off no hand, but turn down indirectly to the Jew's house. In short, it is go at the right hand, turn to the right side, right hand side, then go straight. Then next turning, then you will find another turning. And the next turning, he says any nonsense. He's talking basically nonsense. They go take, सीधे जाना, फिर बाएं जाना, फिर सीधे जाना, फिर नीचे जाना. That is what he say. But turn down indirectly to turn off no hand. Then you will find turn off no hand, and then turn down to the young Jew's house. Okay. I think we'll stop here. And the remaining part we will do next time. Okay? Manushri, see you in the class next time.
Okay, ma'am. Bye.
Bye.